Hey, awesome. Thanks, Wes. It's so great to be back here. I graduated here in 2011, and I wasn't sure if they'd invite me back, but it's pretty cool. So it's definitely cool to be here. So, okay, my name's Andrew. The company that I started is called Andesign because I couldn't figure out a better name. So it's like my name. So cool. I built a little presentation here, going to walk through it, kind of tell you about who I am, how I got here, what the company is all about, what we're doing, how we're a little bit unique. And then I want to talk to you about some entrepreneurship stuff and kind of design entrepreneurisms and give you a little bit of advice and just throw a bunch of stuff at you. So if you see anything along the way, try to hold on to it and remember it. And then at the end, just throw your questions at me and I think we can have fun. So I won't make it too boring, but if you get bored, feel free to take a nap. So here's the overview. That's what we're going to talk about. Pretty nice. Cool. All right, so this is me, just so you have some background on who's talking to you. I'm Andrew. I'm like a regular guy. I'm a husband, a brother, a son. My wife is here. My dad's here, so it's cool. So I have, like Wes said, I have a degree in mechanical engineering from Cal Poly Pomona, and I worked as an engineer for a little bit and realized that that was really hard. And so I saw the guys at that company were doing design, and that looked more fun. So I joined Long Beach without realizing it's also a really hard program. And then so I stayed here like 4 more years. So I was in school for about 8 years, but I got a bunch of degrees and marketing degree and business degree and all kinds of stuff. So, but for fun, I like to do cars. I'm into electrical engineering. I think that's kind of an interesting thing, especially in the design and Internet of Things world. I think it's a cool thing. But generally just kind of try anything, do anything, and have fun. I accidentally became a businessman, also an investor into a lot of startup companies, very accidentally, and a mentor, which is really cool. So cool. So that's me. Ugh, sorry. Also very nervous. Thank you. Oh, cool. All right, so kind of my little motto is, I just like to tinker on stuff, and I like to take stuff apart, and most of the time I don't, but sometimes I try to put it back together. I try to get there. So, I think, I'm like emotional, like a big baby, but one of the things that really drives me, and I think what you guys will be able to find in your career and just like your life, is your support system has to be really, really strong because life is tough and hard and all that. So luckily I have this really great support system of my family, my wife, my brother, and my parents. And I think for a while I didn't really catch that, and so now I really get it, so I like to talk about it. I like to cry about it, all right? My team members are like in the front row here, and they always see me cry, so you guys are new to seeing it, but I'll get over it quick and start giving you some work stuff. So, okay. So our company, Andesign, I actually started 2011 when I was a senior here. It was more like a freelancing thing, and then it turned into I needed more help than just myself, so I hired a couple guys also from the program and was able to really just turn that into something. But because I was still in school, it wasn't a full-time thing. But really, once I graduated, there wasn't really jobs available or really good paying jobs available, so I just cranked into this business. And in the first year, you can see there, we did about $1 million worth of business, which was just like crazy. And at that time, it was primarily design and engineering business. So we were able to hook up with like some good companies and just crank away and built a lot of stuff. So in that first year, we worked with one of the biggest, like well-known ones now, nobody knew we were then, but Mophie. They're the company that made the iPhone battery case for iPhone 4s. So that company went from like 3 people to 500 people within a couple years. And we did probably 99% of their design and engineering. So that really propelled us through about 2014. And then we were able to just kind of ramp up our growth. And I'll talk about that a little bit. So last year we did about 3.3, probably actually a little more when we calculate it all. $1 million worth of business. So I think as far as you'll see as like a design firm, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So we're proud about that. The other thing, there you go, that I like a lot is really our growth. I try not to always describe it with money. You can see our team members here, and we have a staff in California and also a staff in China. And being able to see that staff grow and those people grow as individuals is probably more rewarding than the money for me. Cool. And I'll cry right now. Sorry. Okay, so how did we get there? This is going to be like the hard stuff, what we did. But basically, we needed to break into China. We needed to become a manufacturer. We needed to build a business that has long-term profitability, some consistent growth, figuring out how to do that. It's really hard. How do you protect yourself? How do we do that? And then we diversify our clients and our product categories. So these are like the core things that as a company, we try to strive to do. Each one is like, it's probably whole own discussion. But these are like the core things you really got to worry about as a design guy. One, breaking into manufacturing. So like I said, we were working with Mophie and a couple other companies like that, and I just luckily had these great opportunities because they had no team members. There was nobody on their staff to go do it. And they're like, oh, you want to go to China? Like, absolutely. So paid trips to China for months at a time, which was like an awesome, fun, great experience. Was able to see inside of these factories. Set factory on the bottom, there's probably 1,000 people in there. Just these huge factories, and the factories were making the iPhones and iPads, and just like the mega factories of China. So I've been all over China, all over Taiwan, all over Hong Kong, in the factories, and I actually really prefer to work down in the factories. So I'm working in the molding and experimenting with the tooling and understanding the tooling design and all that. So before even trying to do it on my own, I was like really highly involved with helping companies figure out how to manufacture and work out that barrier into China. After that, started doing really good, and our team in the US was growing, and we felt like our capabilities were growing. We wanted to be able to offer more services to our customers, and the natural progression for design and engineering is, and you'll see it as you guys mature into working designers, is somebody eventually has to make the thing. So that's a pretty important part. And what we found was, we would get designs done, we would get prototypes done, and then we'd hand them to the customers, and they would just go nowhere, because how do you get this made in China? I don't speak Chinese, all that. So we made the commitment to grow the company in the way of let's become a manufacturer. So I had a couple friends, actually, people that we knew from other jobs, and my wife had a young Taiwanese guy that worked at the mall and was like, yeah, I know this guy, we could hire him. And so we did that and basically worked all night for like a year and figured out how to start our own manufacturing in China. So we made relationships with factories, had some friends there that I could leverage and just talk to them and try to figure it out, make 1,000 bajillion mistakes, spend a ton of money, spend a ton of time in China, and then eventually planted our flag into China, which is awesome. So the first top couple pictures are from our first office there, which in China, it was like 1,200 square feet, so it was like pretty big in China. But that office fell down. It literally collapsed. I don't know how, but one night they called me and told me, hey boss, your office fell over. So, like, all right. So below it, we actually just finished a brand new office, about 5,000 square feet, which is like crazy for China, so we'll put like 40 people in there. But we're really committed to manufacturing and working in China and developing those relationships. So it was really important for us and for my staff and my team there that I want them to be comfortable and happy and have this like awesome, nice office. So we fully designed it from start to finish, and it just opened up. So we don't have good pictures of it now, but we're going there soon to go check it out. But that'd be really cool. All right. So now we're in China, we're working in China. And then here's what we did. Basically, took like a year groups and had goals for the year. So 2013, like, okay, let's figure out how to make this work. How can we do that? We're working with other customers' existing factories. We're kind of making those relationships. We know what we're trying to strive for, so we're talking to them about it, trying to figure it out. 2014, I was like, hey, I designed this really famous bottle for this lady, like forever ago, and she's selling a shitload of them. Let's call her and see if she'll let us make it. And so, like, stroke of luck, she was like, oh yeah, I need a new manufacturer. My other guy's an idiot. I know you're not so stupid. So I convinced her to let me make this bottle for her. It's like this little, cute little baby bottles, like really cheap and really cool. But one of those products that did really well on the market and has just done well since it launched. So that was like the first thing that we manufactured, and we screwed it all up and lost all kinds of money and did it all kinds of wrong. But it was really cool to experience that. after like all these hurdles and messing it all up and trying to manage a bunch of people, a bunch of factories in China from Southern California and trying to travel back and forth, we said, you know, we need a team. So went out and built a team of people I knew from factories, from friends, from other companies, just through building relationships. And that was early 2015. And then now the whole goal is just scale. So all of 2016 was really just scale like crazy. We built a series of like, kind of like not so much like policies because every design project is really different, but we built a bunch of set workflows that worked for the whole team that everybody understood. And then we give everybody good roles and responsibilities, and then we just cranked out projects. So you see there, last year between design and the manufacturing, we did 96 new projects. So that's like crazy. That's between like 4 designers and 3 or 4 project managers. So it's like senior year thesis every day for a year. That was cool. All right. Okay. So for 2017, we have some really big goals for the company. What we're trying to really do is become more of an industry leader and stake a foothold into, you know, the design community and be a very active part of the design community. We see a lot of people that are looking for that want that, especially like Instagram, Snapchat. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And so we're trying to work with people and other designers to either promote them or help like promote everybody together. So I don't know if you all seen us, but we do a lot on Instagram. We do a lot on our website, but mostly on Instagram and Facebook. We do the sketch a day stuff. We do a bunch of contests. We do a bunch of giveaways. We get sponsored stuff. Like we did this sponsored thing from Heineken, which was cool. And so we're just trying to work like that and promote that stuff this year, as well as just massively scale up the design and the manufacturing business. One thing that I probably won't touch a lot on it here, but I think you guys should really start paying attention to is the trends in investment. So right now we're working with a bunch of different investors, mostly private investors or small like wealth management firms, because their customers are becoming more sophisticated and they're not happy with like stock market performance or traditional safe investments. They want to do private equity investment into small companies. So whether that's private equity investment into, you know, your company as a design company or like some company you're working with as a startup, there's a lot of that going on now. It's really interesting out there to see. So we're working with a bunch of investors to basically try to be able to find money for our customers. So if they come to us with a really great idea that we like, that we can get behind and we want to support, we want to be able to then have access to some vetted funding to get those ideas off the ground. So that's an interesting thing. So all your friends that work at banks, yo, get the rich guy. Okay, so that was like an introduction to me and our business. And so what I want to talk about now is kind of the state of design entrepreneurship, how that's affecting you, some tips and ideas and tricks and stuff. So I kind of threw a bunch in here, but we'll see how it goes. So, okay, so if you're not aware, you should be aware, but entrepreneurship, especially in product design and like startups and hardware and tech and stuff, is like the all-time peak. Like it's the coolest shit ever. So like you can see huge increase since the 80s. We haven't seen businesses become like unicorns like this hockey stick style growth in a long time, really since the 80s. So you have like Uber, SpaceX, I have a whole list. Stripe, DJI, Carbon 3D, all these companies that are out of nowhere developing products and just going insane. So what does that mean for us is that there's going to be more of that. The consumers are going to want more of that, but also from those companies and companies that are like those, there's huge amounts of job potential for designers. And it doesn't just mean you have to go get a job at DJI or one of these guys, but it's huge amounts of opportunity for us as designers in this cool space. Right. But like SpaceX is like hiring like 5,000 designers a month or something crazy. Like they'll hire anybody. So you could go work on rockets. Okay, this is a quote from some lady. But basically, in short, what she's saying is that companies really have to use design as the key differentiator. Right? Pricing is not, marketing is not. There's really the only thing that can separate your company from another company is either your product in the design or the service or the UI. And all of that comes from design thinking, from design management, from having a designer on point on the project. That's the things that make those products, services, businesses better as a whole. All right, cool. Okay, let me see. Okay, all right, there you go. So in short, companies need designers, and if they don't, they will be dead. We will kill them. All right, good. So I think you're all designers here. Or if you're not, you should be, because I think we all agree that designers are like the coolest, best people. If you have a design degree, you're pretty all right. You're pretty cool. So we all agree to that. So if we all agree to that, we'll continue. Cool. All right, one other thing. Okay, so the underlying theme that we're seeing over and over, in this space is basically designers are really leading the trend into creating value into products, services, apps, whatever it is. It's not coming from the business side. It's not really coming from the marketing side. It's coming from the design, whether it's the physical design, the industrial design, the UI or the UX. It's kind of all wrapped in together with this design thinking mentality. All right, cool. I think I'm on the same page. Okay. All right, the other great thing about this time, I think, in the world and kind of the economy of design is that when you introduce yourself as an industrial designer, they will know what that means. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You must not have introduced yourself too many times. So good. Okay, so we're going to get into some simple advice that I can give you as a design entrepreneur that can help you, not so much just in freelancing, but I think just in career-wise in general. So a couple of few points. Okay. The main thing that I really want you to understand and get out of this is you have a value for the work that you do, and the work that you do is creating value either for a company or a product or for somebody, right? Somebody's gonna be paying you for that. So you really need to establish what you feel like that value is, whether it's a market rate or above or below or whatever you feel is a good rate for you. You really need to know what that is and keep a value to your work. And we're seeing a lot of designers working for free and a lot of designers getting screwed. They're not getting paid. And it's really unfortunate because design is the front end of all these products. It's the first thing that these companies need to do, but it's one of the easiest things to get passed aside and forget about as the company grows on. So one thing I always recommend, especially to freelancers or students or anybody who's trying to work, is really just protect yourself. And so we could talk about a couple different ways to protect yourself, but really the best, easiest way is just turn yourself into an LLC. And it's like LegalZoom, super easy, half hour, like $50. And that just protects you really, really good for when your crazy customers try to sue you, which is all the time, all the time. Okay, cool. So I broke out just a couple basic business, what you need to know for business in general. How I tie them back into industrial design is maybe a little bit different, but generally most businesses are kind of the same. The meat is the same, the accounting is the same, you got to sell stuff, you got to buy stuff and sell it again, you got to do all that. So what makes your company different is what can also sell your company and help your company grow. So like rule number one, customer service. Everybody hates working with that asshole over there, that difficult guy or all that. Especially when you're getting paid, you don't work there, they can just fire you anytime, right? If you're not in some set long-term career, you're the first guy to go. So that crappy job, a lot of our guys worked at like pho noodle shops. And it's like so good when you're trying to get paid from that customer that hasn't paid for 2 months and you just want to yell at them through the phone. These guys are great. Please pay, sir. So you might have hated it then, but I think you'll find that that really comes back. And if you really haven't done a job like that, like a customer-facing customer service, like McDonald's, the mall, the car wash somewhere, it could be a really interesting thing and I think very beneficial for your long-term career. Cool. Okay. Next is a little bit more difficult, but as business people and especially savvy business designers, you really have to have some understanding of what's happening in the world economy. You don't have to be an expert, you don't have to watch the news every day, but you at least need to know like, hey, stuff's going pretty good right now, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity, or maybe this is trending up, tech and this and that, or financials are trending up. or oh shit, it's bad. We got to get out. I got to go get my job back at McDonald's because it's all bad. So just having some understanding of that, it's not always so dramatic, but it's going to help you, as you're pricing projects, as you're talking to people, as you're going, aggressively to a company to try to get work. You may want to look at what they're doing and see what their stock is at. See if they're hiring people, see if they're finding people, see if they've got new projects. Try to have some insider understanding to the overall business world. Can just kind of get you that edge, And really, for us as a manufacturer of products, which is generally like consumer electronics, the stuff you see in Target, Best Buy, Apple Store, it's like consumer-driven economy. So if our U.S. economy is in the toilet, nobody's buying, TVs. Nobody's buying that shit. So we want to make sure that we know what's going on in the world so we can either scale up or scale down, or maybe we go look at medical products or industrial products versus consumer goods for a little while, or come back around so we have like that base education of at least what's going on out there that we can look at. Cool. All right. Consumer culture. So this one's pretty cool, and I think for designers we can really get a lot out of this. This is kind of the point in the project as you're working with somebody or you're working for somebody or working at a company that the fights start. So this is like a cool time. The marketing people are like, no, those designers are stupid. The salespeople don't like the marketing people. Nobody likes the boss. The internet hates the other guys. Everybody hates everybody. So what we have to do as designers is we have to take all that and filter it all out, and then try to figure out like what does the end consumer really want out of this product. Well, we're in a little bit of a weird spot because we see a lot of inventors and individuals with these crazy ideas, like feature sets on products that are pages and pages and pages and pages long. And at the end of the day, it's like a really simple product. Could be very, very simple. So what we try to do, and to stay kind of PC, is like we make everybody happy, but we kind of go with it for a little bit, and then as designers, we're going to eventually impose our will on the product. And what we think and what we should feel like, and as a collective of designers, is we should be the ones really understanding the market trends, the consumer bases, spending habits, where the product is going, and kind of like what's the best thing for the product or for the consumer or for whatever it is at that time. You'll have a lot of fights about it, which you'll probably lose most of them in the beginning, but as your reputation starts to build and you hit a couple home runs, then it starts to really do better and people will start to understand that you know what you're talking about. But the more that you know and the more background that you can throw at it, the better that is. So we do a lot of international market products, or we'll sell like products worldwide, or we'll specifically sell products into Asia or Europe or something. So that marketplace is so hugely different. Spending habits are different. Times of the year are different. So just by knowing a few of those things, you can really like step ahead of, like generally you're in the room with like marketing people and sales guys talking about what the new product is, and they don't know that stuff. So you can get in there and know like, well, it's closed, China's closed, it's Chinese New Year or whatever. They don't drink coffee in the Philippines or blah, 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 whatever it is, right? So you can know these like things either from your own background or friends and family or travel or whatever it is, but it's those little differentiations that can help you kind of knowing who it is. All right, cool. You'll have a lot of fun fights there. Cool. Okay, that was a hard one, so we'll do an easy one. If you want to make money in design or in business, it's super easy. Right? It's like a little basic math. Whatever you bring in, then you spend it. Whatever's left over, you get to keep it. Wow. So as soon as I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I totally get it. So you'll see a lot of companies don't get this, and they spend too much. They don't have any money, and they go out of business. Or they live off investors forever. They're just not profitable, and shareholders get pissed off. So understanding these simple rules is a nice way to show it. And then what it also helps you do is you can look at what your groupings of expenses are, and you can start to refine those. So in 2015, one of our challenges was, we're spending a lot on on rent and this and this and this. So what do we do? So we took a look at it and figure out how to optimize. Do we move into one big building? Do we get 2 small buildings? What are the things that we're going to do to help us? And you can basically go and look at those either expenses or see where your revenues are light and figure out where do you then put the effort. So we put effort into finding a better building that was better suited for the business we were in and the space that we needed. But then we also went and put a bunch of extra pricing and extra money into staff in China and office in China. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're a profitable business so we can have these jobs for everybody. So we want to make sure that we have a positive on the profit at the end of the day. So it's generally pretty simple. It's a little bit amazing. Most customers and most people don't really get that. But the basic of it is just don't spend all that you make and then you have money. It's good. It's really good. Okay, cool. How are we doing? Doing okay? Is that right? Okay, this is a good one. And this is something you don't get taught in school at all. Competitive awareness basically in the marketplace, specifically in industrial design, it's like super tight. Because there's not tons of companies, right? There's not like thousands and thousands and millions of design firms like there are supermarkets or gas stations. So there's probably thousands at the most. And of those thousands, probably not that many of them have more than 4 or 5 people working there. So you really need to understand not only your competition as far as other designers, but competition business to business. One of the things that, this is kind of a little story that we learned kind of the hard way, but when we started, one of our main customers that was giving us a lot of business turned out to be doing like really shady business and getting really bad people that had no idea what they were paying for and taking all their money and then just giving companies like mine a little tiny bit of money to do a little bit of work so it looked like there was something, and then deliver sketches when they're supposed to get prototypes type of stuff. Just giving them not anything near what they were paying for, because they were mostly individuals or inventors. They just had no clue. And I think initially we were probably like intentionally blind to it because we were getting paid and it was cool and we were getting a lot of money, and for us we were happy with it. But then as we started to see the effect that that took onto the customers, and that the customers were kind of being kicked to the curb with like, I won't say garbage work because most of the drawings were mine, so like nice drawings, but they're buying a whole package, they're buying complete design, and we're sending them away with like garbage. So that made a really big impact on me once we really started to see the effect of that, and we got ourselves out of that situation and actually had to forfeit a bunch of money and funds to get out of shitty contracts, and just really sucked. But it made us feel good that then we could go back and know what not to do and how to work with customers. Initially, after that, it gave me a really bad outlook onto the kind of industrial design world, and I was really hesitant about even talking to other design companies, and I was like, didn't want to talk to them. You're all mean, you're all stupid, you all suck. But I did find that that's not the case. And after spending a lot of time at conferences and talking to people and just meeting connections and coming to events like this, I was able to find that is not the majority, that the majority of design companies and designers are really trying very hard to complete projects and do a good job and fulfill it. But there's some snakes out there. Like you'll see it tonight when you're watching TV with George Foreman and InventHelp, and you'll see him at the trade shows and the swap meet and, hey, give us your invention. Those kind of guys are out there and giving us as designers like this horrible name when we don't even have like those negative thoughts of like, oh yeah, we'll just take your money and run. So being aware of that competition that's out there and understanding that marketplace and knowing really who is your friend and who is your foe is very, very huge. And one of the best things that we found is that a lot of our success is coming from collaboration, whether it's collaboration with our vendors, collaboration with other design firms. Collaboration is key when you have clients. Especially, as us, like I'm pretty young, but when I started, I'm 30 now, but when I started the business, I was like 25. And I had, this track record of school and all this, but I was like this young guy. And so it's really hard to get those initial jobs and get that trust. And so it's really like, I got to be very collaborative and really, really like you here. But mainly, with our mentality is when a customer hires us, we want them to think that we're awesome. We're the coolest guys. We're great. We love you. We need them to love us. They have to be our buddies. They have to be our allies. The project itself is already hard. You're already going to run into hurdles with that. You're not going to get paid on time. There's all those challenges. And it can really make it worse if you're not getting along with the people. And especially evident in what you guys are going to face going out into the workforce really bad is that there's these senior designers and senior engineers and these guys that have been at companies and in the workforce for like 40 years that we're going to come in with this such advanced skill set and you can blow them out of the water in like one sketch, no problem. But I've done that and learned the hard way that really sets you up for failure because you need that guy to be your ally. Like that guy's the senior guy at the company and you know you can out-sketch him, you know you can model around him in circles. But you need these guys to be your buddies. And so what I tell my team members and guys that intern with me and work for me is it's our responsibility to make them like us. They're not just going to like us because they think we're cool, or they're not just going to be our buddies because they have to because their boss says so. We have to go the extra mile. And you're going to see that really when you start to get out there. Like if you're the bad egg at a company or you're the guy that they hired that, doesn't do good or doesn't respond to emails fast or is rude, it's too easy to find somebody to replace you. So you're like, you're out. So that's a good one. I learned that the hard way like 10 times. I finally figured it out. It's like, why do these guys hate me? I'm so nice. Okay, the other one, I'm doing good on time, so I'll go a little bit into it. I had no idea about like business models and types of business and any of that when I graduated college. And so I was just like working and people were paying me money and then I got sued and it was awful. So I had to quickly learn like how to pay taxes and how to do all this. So I try to give a little bit back. Really for like, our generation guys and gals, there's probably like 3 different things that you're going to be looking at. So I don't have a slide for it, but I was walking through. The first is pretty straightforward. It's a sole proprietor. And basically that's you start a business, it's 100% in your name, you're 100% responsible for it. If it goes bad, the bills are in your name, right? Everything's in your name, you're 100% responsible. But if things go good, you did really good, right? You win, you got it. So to do that, like simple, create a co, like .co or S Corp, or an LLC for yourself. It's like straightforward, super easy. That protects you. If you have a nice car, you have a house, or whatever it is, when you get sued, they can't take it away. You're cool. The other one that you're going to see a lot of, and which I do recommend this, but I think you have to be really, really careful, is partnerships. Whether it's like your friends that you're partnering with, your buddies, your wife, your girlfriend, your brother, whatever, you have to be really, really, really clear in the front. One, the roles and responsibilities. What am I supposed to do? Who's going to do what? When am I supposed to do it? What happens if I don't do it? Blah, 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 blah. And then really the second, which nobody really talks about, is the exit strategy. You don't have to have it 100% refined and know, like, I'm selling this company in 6 months, but you have to have at least the same understanding as your partner. Like, okay, we agree that we're going to build this company and then sell it, or we're never going to sell it. We're going to work this forever, or whatever it is. If you get into it, and this has happened to me a bunch of times, you get into it with the partners, you get into a contract and it's too late, and then you have difference of opinion that you should have talked about before, you're stuck. You're either stuck in this partnership you hate, or you're stuck making money for these guys that, they're not pulling their weight, but you have no recourse against it, and you feel like you're doing all the work or making all the money. Or, in my case, a couple times I've had to just buy it out. And so I just go into the savings account or go and figure out how to do it and beg, borrow, steal, and buy them out of the contract so they just go away if the business is that good. So that's sometimes a really hard decision to have, especially with like your buddies, and especially when you start to not agree, especially with like your brother or like your really good friend. Oh, that's so hard, really difficult. But you have to do it. And the other one, the third one, which I think is really going to be most important for you guys, is this is like kind of back to the trend I was talking about with the private equity investments and the bankers and all that, is you're going to be asked to join companies basically for equity of the company, no money. Like, you're not going to get paid. Or you maybe get paid something very, very, very small, like a super small wage, and whatever, you're going to get 5% of the company as the company grows. That's a really great opportunity. And like if you would have got in with Uber, killed it. Facebook, awesome. But I have 96 customers that aren't Facebook, that aren't Uber. And if I would have taken just equity on those, we don't have a business. So what we do, and we don't want to ever rule out the opportunity, I don't think you guys should either. You really have to understand the business, believe in the business, understand the exit strategy fully, understand how you get paid when the company exercises its exit strategy, and really protect yourself. Like there's a lot of ways that companies can give you options or equity or like restricted stocks that really screw you over because we're the last to ever get paid. And what we see happen a lot, and it's really unfortunate, is that these designers come on and after 2 years, they haven't been paid, the equity is not going anywhere, and then the CEO decides, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and the company dissolves. And you're the first to go, you're the last to get paid, and it's just a mess. With that said, don't rule it out. You can use that equity as a leveraging tool or a bargaining tool to offset stuff. So if you don't feel like you're getting a good enough offer into the business or your wage isn't high enough or whatever, you can use that equity for sure. Or you could request that equity from a big company like SpaceX. You can go try to get a job there and you tell them, dude, I want stock. Right? This is a big company, it's going up, you're going to see it. But just be very, very careful, and I would say be very wary. A couple good questions to ask if they do offer you that stuff. You just say, okay, what's the exit strategy? Let me see your business plan. If they got that and they have something to say, all right, you're probably in like okay shape. But if they're like, oh, I don't know, or I don't have a business plan, it's in progress, like, get out of there. Just take the cash. Even if it's a little bit of cash, take the cash and go. So that's my advice there. That one's tough. I think there's some good resources online on that too. You could look at if you're in that situation and you really want to understand. It's very tricky and lawyer talk, but you really want to understand like what you're getting and how does that stock option or whatever they call it turn into money. That's important. Okay, cool. Last one. So I don't think I'm uncommon into the business world, but it's a little bit uncommon into the design world to like rocket ship this design business. Like 3 years, like overnight. So we went from just a guy to like 30 people on staff, big office in Newport Beach, a big office in China, manufacturing for some of the biggest, like coolest companies in the world. So a lot of people come like, oh, how did you get this success? How did you do it? Blah, blah, blah. But I really thought about this when I was writing this report here, and it was really interesting. But I really just try to keep it simple and look at like these key things. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to be bored, so I give myself challenges. Like with the electronics engineering, I'm just trying to figure it out. Look online, I'm learning how to code stuff, just trying to do that. I want to create wealth, not only for myself, but for the people that are around me that I care about. And then definitely learn from my mistakes. So mistakes are a huge part of business and just a part of growing up, but being able to learn from those mistakes and not make them over and over. And especially in a business like ours where it's generally, like we're all young people, we don't know that much about business and how to do this. We run into huge amounts of mistakes. And it's every day we're trying. Some are big, some are small, but all about how we can overcome them as a group and not kill each other, tear each other's heads off, which even though we want to do, and then not make those mistakes again so we don't have to go kill each other on next Wednesday instead of today. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully not too boring, but if you have some questions, we can go for those. Well, you know what? LegalZoom is like one of the best resources for stuff like that. And there's just a little bit of research online. You can really find some great resources. A lot of people come to us and they've spent like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on these patents. And we look at what they patent and we're like, dude, that doesn't work. Like, that's not real. You can't do it that way. And they just spent all this money on patenting, how to turn this thing on with your brain. Like, it don't work. So what I recommend to everybody I talk to is if you have something that you think is valuable that you want to patent, all you have to do is do a provisional patent and it gets you a year to do something with it. I think it's a couple $100. You can do it through LegalZoom. You don't have to have any lawyers or anything. And it's basically you just write down this really detailed description. I don't even think you need to give them designs or sketches, but basically a really, really detailed description. It basically locks in that you started the patent process as of today, but you really don't have to go do the patent. That gives you time to figure the product out, be working on it, test the market, get some users, try it, and then if it works, go spend that money and get a really, really good patent, hire the best lawyer you can, get as protected as you can, but I wouldn't spend that money up front. You know, I was a little bit different because I had a short career, but I had an engineering career before. So I was like making money and I'm like, oh, dude, I should be making, 100 grand a year. I'm an engineer, blah, blah, blah. And when I got done with school and was getting done with school, I only had just the Friday all-day class. So I was open all week. So that whole year I just, had one commitment on Friday. So I was out there trying to get a job and stuff. And I had a job at a couple other design firms. I did some internships. But like had an internship for like $9 an hour, and then they gave me a 1099 on it, so it was like less than minimum wage, and it wasn't going to go anywhere. It wasn't going to turn into a job. I didn't feel like I was getting much out of it, and I was able to just pick up some freelance projects. And I had at that time like Craigslist ads, I think like an eBay ad, just a bunch of ads online, and I just talked to anybody that would listen. I just tell this story when nobody has anything to do, I tell them to go hit the street. But basically, I would take flyers, and I had this nice brochure in my portfolio, and I put a shirt with buttons on, and I would just go knock on doors. And I've literally been to every door from probably Long Beach all the way down to San Diego. Any business park that looks like it maybe has something going on, I walk in, give them my flyer, hey, what do you do? And I actually found a lot of customers that way, but really great resources that way too. And so that also helped me become really resourceful. So if you need like a CNC machine shop or some specialty thing, I know where they all are. Stuff that like the old school guys that don't even have websites or not even Yellow Pages ads, like I know where they all are just because I knocked on their door just trying to get a job. But that was the thing, I wanted a job at first because I wanted something stable, but I just couldn't find it. So just made it myself, just did it. I did. I spent $175,000 of my own money and lost it all. Oh. So I won't do that again. So I tried it, and that was like my thought too, is okay, I'm this badass designer, I'm so smart, whatever I do is gold. I just made Mophie $100 million, blah, 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 blah. I started an e-cigarette company, and e-cigarettes were hot, and it took too long. It got all jacked up. I was in China for 6 months, got the product here, poof, nobody wanted it. I still have them. I have like 5,000 e-cigarettes in my office. I can't throw them away. I can't bear to throw them away. So what we did, and dude, my wife's cool. She let me spend all her money. So, but like you get to do that once, like one time. But what we did is we looked at it and we said, all right, what did we do wrong? Where did we miss the mark? And we really understood what we did. We had a bunch of problems. The time frame was wrong. We tried to rush stuff and made mistakes. Huge amount of learning, but so expensive. But so what I did is that's when I decided I'm going to put the emphasis on being a service-based company, and instead of taking the gamble on 175 grand to my own one project, let me spend another 175 grand and hire a bunch of staff, get a bunch of office, do a ton of Google ads, and now let me get 100 chances. So that's why we did 100 projects last year. And a couple of them hit pretty good, and they're going to continue to hit, and that number is going to continue to grow. So it was just for me about like risk reward type of thing. But I tried it. Do it. It's cool. It's fun. That was really the hardest part, especially coming out of school. Luckily, with Long Beach particularly, your education is like really top notch compared to a lot of other design schools. So you already come out on top as a lot of, I know this sucks, but you come out as a designer like pretty on top of your game, but being really, really on top of your game is key. So like I've had to go into places, and I like for one, I was in I was in China with Mophie, and then one of their senior engineers just made a mess of this 3D model. And the CEO's like, all right, dude, you're up. Get it done. So, okay, just do it. And I knew I could do it. It wasn't a problem. So just in front of everybody, a conference room full of people in China, like heat of the moment, just knock his file down and build a brand new 3D file right there that was ready to go, like an hour. So being able to just be on your game, like really, really good. Like I said, I had some problems with some of those guys because I was kind of like an asshole about it because I started to really know that I was really good at it. But then I learned how to dial that back and use those guys as my buddies and allies and resources. So it worked okay, but that's the key, being like on it. So you have to prove it, For us, the faster, the better, like the smoother and fastest projects go, and we have really open communication to the customers. And then when the customers really trust us. So the majority of our customers are not experienced product development people. They're either bankers, investment guys, doctors, lawyers, housewife, whatever, maybe a project manager at a company. But even though they're the project manager of the company, that doesn't mean that they really fully understand the whole process. So what we really try to do, and we have a whole system about it. Initially when we started the business, people would email and it would go to my email and I'd write them back like, oh, I'll do it for like $40. And that started to go, the 40 turned to 100 and then 200 and then, now it's 100 grand if you want to talk to us. But we set up rules and policies. So you'll go to the website and I have an idea, click here, and it funnels down. Just before they can even talk to us, they got to fill out this whole long form. And that shows us, okay, number one, the customer at least has their idea refined, but they also have the drive and they're motivated to get it done because they just fill out this form that's a pain in the ass. Then we'll email them, then Lisa will talk to them, or John will talk to them. Like 4 people will talk to them to make sure they're not crazy. And then if they're good to go, then we'll sit down with them. And generally what we'll do, it's actually a really straightforward new product development process, but understand the requirements, talk about the requirements. If it's something weird or we're not familiar with, or maybe some new piece of technology, we do what we call a discovery phase. So we just charge them a little bit of money basically for us to do some research. It'd be like a design research phase or technology research phase. Do that. Once we understand what technology we're going to use, or we're not experts in whatever RF transmission through the ground or something. So if we need to do that, okay, I want to make sure before I take the project and commit to doing it, I understand that I can do that. Right? I can make that signal work or whatever it is. Or I know the right guy I can hire to get it done. We do that, and then just like in a school project, we basically start with a bunch of concepts, whittle down, and each time we get the customer's feedback. Depending on the customer, sometimes they just let us do whatever we want. Just go for it. Some are real particular on the color, the shape, or whatever it is, but we try to keep them really involved in that and just whittle it down to end up with that final sample. So the more you can get the trust, the better. Luckily we were pretty protected, and we were able to work out deals to not get sued too bad. But it happens because especially for us, we take a lot of responsibility as the manufacturer of the product. So we take liability of providing a safe product, a certified product, all that stuff. We have huge insurance policies now for that. But that's why I recommend to early designers, you don't need to go get insurance policies and all that, but you just want to protect yourself. As a student, you probably don't have a house, you don't have expensive cars, you don't have huge assets that can be looked at as tangible value. But you just don't want to give somebody the opportunity to take what you do have. So an LLC, or LLC is cheaper, but it's pretty similar to as a corporation, protects your personal assets in the time frame that you do get sued. Generally, it's mostly threats or cease and desist letters. They say you stole their design, or your design looks too much like my design, or whatever it is. But also, as our company developed, we built really good contracts that put the burden of patent infringement, trademark infringement, all that stuff onto our customers. Because it's their responsibility. If we're designing something for a company or for Western Digital or for whoever, it's their responsibility to make sure, we're not copying whatever. We're not copying Acer or whoever. We do our due diligence on that too, because we don't, as a design firm, we don't want people to think, oh, we're copying people. But we've had companies that like I highly respect that have called me and like, hey, why'd you steal our design? I didn't steal your design. You did a round water bottle. We all do, it's a round water bottle with a white cap. Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. So I think just being open about it and just if you know you're protected on it, that's really a simple thing to do to cover that. Yeah, generally, when starting a business, you have to be passionate about it. I basically dedicated, I've told myself in my mind, and luckily have a great supportive wife and family, but basically will dedicate until I'm 35, like full steam in this business, everything I have, everything. And it's either going to work really, really great, or it's going to go to shit and I'll get a job at Google, but that's cool too. But I think being that motivated and just beast mode on it is the way to go. So luckily I have like this great staff right now and great guys in China and great team in the US that supports the China team, so I'm not working all night. But when we started that, and it was like maybe 9 in the morning to 2 in the morning every day for a year when I first started the business, every day, Saturday, Sunday included. I don't even remember my wife that year, And then it worked, started to do pretty good, and it went to like 11 at night, and I think I took Sundays off. Oh, I started to get into cars, so I took Sundays off to work on cars with my dad. Did that. And then just little by little been able to track that down. But I still work 24 hours. I mean, I'm on my phone with the China team all day and all night, and I actually expect a lot out of my team, so it's cool that they're into it. But generally, most people on our staff have the same. We all have that same vision, right? So with the company that I'm building and that we're trying to do is not just for Andrew to go buy a boat. I want to buy like 10 boats, right? I want everybody there. I want the whole team to come up. So I think like design people get that and have that kind of group mentality better than business people and marketing people. And like, you don't see like real estate guys trying to help their buddies out, but you see designers helping their buddies out. But yeah, just dedication, dude. Yeah, that was tough. Luckily, just one of the guys I knew from working with Mophie, as that company grew, they went through a bunch of growing pains in China, and they let a bunch of their staff go. But I stayed in communication with, because I was there for months at a time. So, you make friendships, and I even stayed at his apartment for like 2 months. And so I had a really great friendship with him, with Oliver. His name is Edward, but he changed it to Oliver because he's weird. So I mix it up. But I had this like great relationship with him, and I actually probably didn't need to do this, but I wouldn't hire him directly. He left Mophie, and I told him, dude, I can't hire you. I'm under contract with Mophie. Even though they fired you, like I'm not going to like basically poach you from another company, because I, at that time, had already got a bunch of people poached out of our company as we started to grow. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. You got to go get a job somewhere for like 6 months or a year. And then after that, then I'll hire you. So I did that. And then I basically started with one core guy and was able to leverage his friends and people he knew. And we built this now like really big network of factory relationships and staff members and team there. And it's a lot of work. That was hard. All right, is that it? Pretty good. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.